Ladies and gentlemen, would you please rise for the entrance of the 2014 University of Saskatchewan graduates?
Would the graduates please turn and face the platform? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Spring Convocation 2014. Would you please join our vocalist, Katya Hartova, in the singing of O Canada, and then please remain standing for the invocation.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a day of much excitement, joy, and also a time to feel proud of the many accomplishments that have led us and all of you to this point. But it is also a day to be thankful to our parents, who much of our success is due, and to who we will ever be indebted to our teachers and our mentors, for all their guidance and advice, and to our friends and all of those who are close to us and who have ever been in our corner in times of need. And finally, and I believe most importantly, to be thankful to the one who has given us the ability to be thankful. Thank you.
Will you please be seated? Once again, graduands and distinguished guests, welcome. I am Elizabeth Williamson. I am the University Secretary, and I have the honor of introducing to you the members of the platform party that you see before you. So beginning with the front row, on my left and your right, Heather Magatu, Vice President, Advancement and Community Engagement. Karen Chad, Vice President, Research. Louise Humbert, Associate Dean, College of Kinesiology. Sheila Rutledge Harding, Associate Dean, College of Medicine. Adam Baxter Jones, Dean, College of Graduate Studies and Research. Victoria Jurgens, MLA, Saskatchewan Party, representing Prince Albert, Northcote. Renee Drucker-Colin, recipient this morning of the Earned Doctor of Science. President Gordon Barnhart. Chancellor Blaine Favel. John Wedge, recipient this morning of an Honorary Doctor of Laws degree. Jay Colra, Chair of University Council. Carol Rogers, Dean, College of Kinesiology. Preston Smith, Dean, College of Medicine. David Hill, Dean, College of Pharmacy and Nutrition. George Maturi, Assistant Executive Director, School of Public Health. And in our second row, our orators, Brooke Clausen, Shirley Haynes, and Ryan Brooke. Grit McCreath, University of Saskatchewan Board of Governors. Ernest Alford, Senator. Nadia Prokopchuk, Senator. Frank Asipas, Traditional Knowledge Keeper. Max Feinday, President, University of Saskatchewan Students' Union. Peter Stroh, University of Saskatchewan Alumni Association. Yvonne Shevchuk, Associate Dean, College of Pharmacy and Nutrition. Fred Remillard, Associate Dean, College of Pharmacy and Nutrition. Nick Ovsenik, Associate Dean, College of Medicine. Joel Schindel, University Chaplain. And behind them, and I would ask them to stand, members of the faculty of the University of Saskatchewan. Would you please join me in expressing to all of these faculty, administration, and members of our governing bodies our thanks for the work they have done by supporting, teaching, and encouraging our graduates. We acknowledge the traditional territory of Treaty 6 on which we are gathered for this event. Please stand as you are able for the honor song. There is no applause following the honor song. Please be seated.
Honourable Chancellor, Mr. President, MLA member, platform guests, graduates, friends and family. I am honoured and have the privilege of introducing to you today Dr. Rennie Drucker-Collin, who has been selected by a committee of his peers to be awarded the earned Doctor of Science degree from the University of Saskatchewan. This award is given to a member of Convocation of the University of Saskatchewan or current faculty based on their published work, of which demonstrates the standard of excellence such that the recipient has a recognised international authoritative standing in their field of research. Dr. Drucker-Collin is indeed a worthy recipient of such a degree. Dr. Drucker-Collin was born in Mexico City. He obtained his BSc at the Universidad Nacional Autónoma de Mexico in 1962, and in his MSc in psychophysiology at the Northern Illinois University in 1964. In the summer of 1968, the summer of love, he arrived in Saskatoon to start his PhD work, and I learnt yesterday some anti-Vietnam War campaigning. 2 years and 8 months later, he completed his work and was awarded a PhD in physiology in the School of Medicine. He has indicated that the speed of his completion of his degree was his desire not to show his intelligence, but to get away from the cold as quickly as possible. He was offered the possibility of postdoctoral work in Montreal, but Canadian immigration suggested to him he return to Mexico, as he had caught their eye with some anti-Vietnam demonstrating in the bowl some 40 years ago. It's a pleasure to have you back here after 40 years. His early work in the mid-1960s was influenced by Raoul James Payon, who sparked his lifelong interest in the study of brain mechanisms regulating the sleep-wake cycle. In the 1970s, he worked related to sleep regulation, and in particular REM sleep, involved peptides, a concept which at the time was not even considered, since the emphasis was exclusively concentrated on classical neurotransmitters. His work helped modify this concept and provoked a fury of studies indicating the complexity of the neurochemical regulation of sleep. Dr. Drucker-Collin subsequently was the first to demonstrate that transplants were useful to understand the biological clock, since he showed for the first time that the biological clock located in the suprasympathetic nucleus would be destroyed and then recovered when induced by transplanting fetal cells. In the 1980s, this led to studies in which he transplanted dopamine-producing cells into Parkinson's patients. Those studies, though controversial, led to an enormous impulse to the idea that substitution of diseased cells became a reality. Recently, he has been first to show that the adult stem cell can be differentiated within the subventricular zone. This has the potential to lead to exciting new avenues of research with regards to treatment of Parkinson's disease. His work, both in sleep and Parkinson's disease, has been exceptional, original, and pioneering. In addition, he has introduced a number of studies showing that low-frequency magnetic fields can induce cell differentiation. In the past few years, he has studied the effect of nicotine on depression and sleep, demonstrating the possible usefulness of nicotine to treat the depression and associated alterations of sleep. As a result of his research, he has been the author of some 280 publications in the area of neuroscience. For the last 15 years, he has been a persistent advocate voice in Mexico in popularizing science to try and convince more government investment in science. For these activities, he was awarded in 2011 the Canalga UNESCO Prize of Popularization in Science. And only last year, Dr. Drucker-Collin was appointed the Minister of Science for the Mexico City. Honourable Chancellor, I ask you to bestow upon Dr. Drucker-Collin the earned Doctor of Science degree.
Sir. Great. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of this province, and with the consent of the council of this university, I admit you to the degree of earned Doctor of Science and invest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate, I present to you John Wedge. Please. The honorary degree is the highest honor this university can bestow, and it is intended to award those who have made outstanding contribution to scholarship, education, the arts, or public service, or to the local, Canadian, or global public good. John Wedge is one such individual, and his contribution to medicine, both in Canada and abroad, have been truly remarkable. The list of his projects is long and impressive, many of which you will see described in today's program. But it is certainly not just for the volume of his output or for the international recognition he has earned that we award this honorary degree. It is rather for the excellence of his work and for his profound contribution to pediatric orthopedic surgery that we recognize today this exemplary pioneer clinician and academic leader. John Wedge has been a tireless advocate for the prevention and improved method of treatment to reduce the burden of hip dysplasia around the world, the most common single condition affecting newborn infants, accounting for approximately 10% of all total hip replacements. Dr. Wedge has furthered the understanding of this condition more than any living person. Through his lifelong commitment, Dr. Wedge has touched the lives of countless children worldwide through his own surgical innovation and through the training of other accomplished surgeons. Dr. Wedge has achieved a remarkable international reputation through his work as liaison and ambassador for Sick Kids Hospital in Toronto and as chair of Sick Kids International. He has undertaken many global health initiatives in developing countries, influencing healthcare strategies with his direct, transparent, and highly experienced advice. As an academic leader, Dr. Wedge's wise counsel and expertise are apparent in his dedication to academic excellence, innovation, and mentorship to faculty members, surgical trainees, and students. He inspires others with his no-nonsense approach, achieving excellence without effort and encouraging those around him to reach their full potential. Dr. Wedge was inducted as an Officer of Order of Canada in 2006, highlighting his lifetime of dedication to improving the health of children with disability. We join in honoring Dr. Wedge today. Eminent Chancellor, I present John Wedge and ask that you confer on him the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Mr. Wedge, you honor us. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of this province, and with the consent of the Senate of this university, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, and invest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
Chancellor Favo, President Barnhart, honored platform guests, graduands, faculty and staff, families, and guests. My family has a long history with the University of Saskatchewan. Our connection dates back to 1910, when my great-grandfather, James Hall, moved his family from Quebec because of the promise of free tuition at the new university in Saskatoon. University education was important to his wife and him, but as Irish Catholic small mixed farmers in feudal-like Quebec, the prospect of a university education for his 11 children was but a remote possibility. He took up a homestead 5 miles from the center of the city and established a small contracting business supplying sand and gravel by horse-drawn cart for the construction of the administration building on campus. His son, Emmett, during his first summer in Saskatoon, worked delivering food and water to the construction workers on the project. I am certain he did not anticipate that he would eventually become chancellor of the same university. Emmett graduated from the College of Law in 1919 at the age of 20, the first of 4 generations of U of S law graduates in our own family that include both of my parents, a sister, and a nephew. So you can see my connection here is long and strong. I am very grateful to this university for my undergraduate medical education, my postgraduate orthopedic residency training, and for providing me a wonderful start to my clinical and academic career as a faculty member. The most difficult decision in my life was to leave here after 14 years on faculty. The quality of the education I received here at all levels, including that as a faculty member from mentors and role models such as Bill Kirkcaldy-Willis, Bob Murray, Ian MacDonald, Stuart Houston, and Lou Horlick, has served me well over the years. The educational standards here are the equivalent of any university in North America. I remain a very proud physician, and I hope you will be able to express similar pride in your professions at the conclusions of your careers. My alma mater conferring an honorary Doctor of Laws upon me is a major highlight in my career. I thank you for this honor. When asked to provide this brief address, I attempted to recall my own graduation address and could not remember the speaker's name, let alone his content. I say this because there was little chance back then that the speaker was female. How things have changed for the better. Since then, I have heard many highly inspiring and motivating but very similar convocation addresses, which I have promptly forgotten. So instead, I've decided to take a different tack and risk making controversial observations about the healthcare environment that you as a diverse group of healthcare-related professionals will be entering and what you may anticipate as you embark upon your careers. My theme for today is the conviction that the future of healthcare in Canada requires a rebooting of the relationship among healthcare professionals and an improved model of delivery of care. This needs to occur for the benefit of our patients, who above all are our highest priority. It is essential that the individual healthcare professions to come together to create a more effective, coordinated division of responsibility and mode of healthcare delivery than currently exists and at less cost. The core issue is the sustainability of our excellent, universally publicly funded system. It has been repeatedly stated that the status quo for healthcare in Canada is unsustainable, and indeed it is, unless funding of other competing priorities, such as high-quality education and essential public infrastructure, are to be seriously eroded. However, the intense politicization of healthcare across Canada has made any significant reform untenable because of opposition from vested interests. We must encourage innovation and entrepreneurial activity at the local level with a bottom-up rather than the top-down approach in establishing best practices that may be then exported to the system at large. Grandiose central planning schemes always seem to fail due to entrenched positions that lead to paralysis. The challenge is to balance the interests of the individual patient with those of the population as a collective, and also that of the healthcare provider. The ethos of medicine is the primacy of the doctor-patient relationship, a relationship based on trust and advocacy for our patients that is inviolate and applies to all of the health-related professions represented here today. We must keep this in mind as the dominant principle and remember the patient comes first when making fundamental changes to the model of healthcare delivery. What is to be done to accommodate our rapidly expanding elderly population and the ever-escalating cost of managing chronic diseases? We have a geographic and demographic maldistribution of physicians and an imbalance between generalists and specialists. A popular opinion is that we need to train more doctors. My contrary opinion is that we already have too many physicians, and training more would just further increase cost without addressing the deficiency of healthcare for our citizens. Physicians are simply too expensive to provide services that are no longer essential and unique to us. Other healthcare professionals could arguably do 80% of that which a generalist and 40% of what specialists do at less cost and just as effectively. Conversely, our well-educated related professions have the capacity to take a greater responsibility for higher level care, and I am pleased to see a national trend in this direction, but it requires rapid acceleration. One example is the provision of primary care in rural and inner-city settings. The maldistribution is not likely to be improved by educating more physicians, but by rather enhancing the responsibilities of physical and occupational therapists, advanced practice nurses, and pharmacists in the prevention, recognition, and delay of chronic disease and in early diagnosis and management of acute disease. The intelligent deployment of distant supervision via telehealth, digital medicine, well-developed medical directives, and electronic records are capable of substantially reducing cost and the need for direct physician involvement for many aspects of care. Not so long ago, the physician was reckoned to be the sole repository of medical knowledge, but this is no longer the case, with accurate and timely information available almost instantly from reliable sources electronically. New technology will reduce the need for physicians and surgeons over time, provided we are willing to delegate much of what we do due to coordinated teams of other healthcare practitioners. I believe that this will achieve better outcomes at less cost. Furthermore, the job satisfaction of the physician will improve as he or she takes responsibility for a larger population in performing essential functions that are unique to our particular skills that make us best positioned to lead and facilitate this transformation. It almost goes without saying that the principal focus in the evolution of an improved model of care should be the patient rather than on the providers. Most of you assume that patient-centered care has been the beacon guiding our professions over the centuries. You are only partially correct. In Canada for the last 50 years, the emphasis has been on provider-centered care, and it is this practice that must change, and you must lead this change. You will all join your appropriate professional organizations. You should thoughtfully contribute to those bodies. Please remember, however, that associations and unions form with one express purpose, which is to protect the interests of their members, the providers. All such bodies cloak their self-interest with noble words. Please ensure that when you or your association say patient-centered care, you really mean it, and are not uttering the phrase to support yet another policy of advantage to providers. Interprofessional cooperation and collegiality are essential to the safe shifting of responsibility, and to some extent, professional autonomy will require surrender. As we move to integration of the efforts of providers to create plans for patients, you should be aware that some professions will have to give up parts of their fee-generating practice, frequently to other professions. Don't resist these changes for selfish reasons. Your patients will receive better care, and you will enjoy your working lives doing that for which you have the required specific skills. Another example of which I have personally witnessed relates to the futility of centralized physician workforce planning. We currently have about 150 unemployed or grossly underemployed orthopedic surgeons in Canada, despite waiting lists of 1 to 2 years for hip and knee replacement surgery in some regions of this country. We have modern and very expensive hospitals where the bulk of the operating room sit empty for 14 hours every workday and all weekend. How is this for effective workforce planning and sensible allocation and utilization of resources, I ask you? The numbers of orthopedic trainees were increased across Canada in anticipation of the rapidly expanding population of seniors, but could not be provided with adequate resources to respond to this without cutting services in other healthcare sectors. We know that joint replacement surgery and cataract extraction are the two most productive medical interventions to keep seniors happily in their homes and out of expensive chronic and long-term care facilities. Health workforce planning is best achieved at a regional level. Over my 40-plus year career, I've witnessed the boom and bust of central planning, typically following unrealistic planning documents, of which the Barr and Stoddart report on human health resource planning in Canada of the early 90s is the classic example. We consistently overshoot or undershoot because we cannot anticipate with accuracy disruptive external factors, complex interdependencies in the economy, rapidly changing demographics, and the evolution of technology. By the time a report is issued, many of its recommendations are already obsolete, and there typically exists a health policy vacuum that precludes implementation of those that may be sensible and appropriate. The traditional centralized funding mechanism for hospital and community-based services is steeped in politics. Year over year, institutional budgeting inevitably leads to cost escalation and misallocation of resources. The shift to having funding following the patient is the correct course, but again is moving too slowly. More attention needs to be directed to bloated bureaucracy within institutions to strip them of functions not essential to provision of direct patient care. As the future of healthcare in this province, you need to become fully engaged as advocates for the real needs of your patients, embrace leadership opportunities, and not leave this to career managers. And if you accept my advice to become involved in management as well as clinical practice, you must remember this priority. An essential personal characteristic for healthcare professionals is a sense of humility. After all, the increase in life expectancy in the past century has been mainly due to the introduction of major public health measures, with the treatment of active disease contributing considerably less. So we cannot, as physicians, claim too much credit. Further improvement will also rely on efforts to prevent disease by public health professionals who recognize emerging patterns of disease and by developing effective policies to respond to new risks to the health of our population. All of the professions represented here today have essential roles that, if properly integrated, will have a major positive benefit on the well-being of the population we serve and generate a healthier, more productive and prosperous Canada. However, with whatever inevitable changes in the model of care occur over your careers, keep uppermost in your minds that the patient comes first, as this is the consideration that must continue to guide our everyday actions. This is a pivotal concept. With your graduation today, you have assumed a position in society in which your fellow Canadians will put their trust and tell you their secrets. Always be worthy of that trust and never abuse it. You have an immense responsibility to your patients, but you also have responsibilities to the institutions that employ you and to the funders who are ultimately the taxpayers. In concluding this address, you will discover that the best results for Canadians will come from an evolving system that integrates your respective expertise gained from the stellar education you have received from this wonderful university. You are among the best prepared health professional graduates in history, so go forward and lead the positive transformation of healthcare for the benefit of all Canadians. My wish for you is that you have as much fun and obtain as much satisfaction from the fabulous careers you are entering as I have, and given the need for your talents, you should embark on your careers full of energy, confidence, enthusiasm, and optimism. I thank you again for this great honor, and particularly to the students for not having me disinvited from giving this convocation address for whatever reason, as has happened to a significant number of speakers across North America this spring.
Eminent Chancellor, platform guests, graduates, parents and friends, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm Gordon Barnhart. I'm the interim president and vice chancellor of the University of Saskatchewan. And it's my honor to be here today to be serving you as the interim president and to celebrate with you the milestones of the graduates from the colleges of kinesiology, medicine, pharmacy and nutrition, School of Physical Therapy, School of Public Health. Good morning and congratulations. When you receive this degree, it's a culmination of a lot of work. Many, many hours in the labs and the libraries and in lectures and preparing words for essays and exams. But once you have this degree in your hand, you can take great pride knowing that you've earned this. It's not luck that you get a university degree. It's through hard work, and you can now say, this is mine and I've earned it. And when you look at your degree, perhaps you'll put your degree up in your office or in your home, wherever you might have it. I hope it'll remind you of all of the steps you took while here at the University of Saskatchewan. That first step coming onto campus, for example, through to the steps going across this stage. It's a long way, I must tell you, from this side to that side as you're walking across. And remember that and cherish that, as it's a great celebration. I remember the first time that I put my first step on the campus of the University of Saskatchewan. I was 18 years old, coming from small town Saskatchewan, Saltcoats, and I had been to Saskatoon only once before. And in my mind, this was a huge city and a long trip to get here, and I was scared. I was petrified that I was going to fail. And that's because when I was in high school, the people who were older than me and the more senior grades, as we were going through, they went on to university. And some of them came home as graduates at Thanksgiving and Christmas time. And I thought that they were really smart, and how come they hadn't made it? They didn't tell me they'd been partying too much. So I entered university with this great fear that it was going to be impossible, but I worked very hard, and I did complete my first 2 degrees here at the University of Saskatchewan, my undergraduate degrees, and I came back later at age 49 to do a PhD. But the education that I received here led me on a wonderful journey, and I'm sure it will be the same for you. I went from being a student at the University of Saskatchewan to now being the president of this fine institution. And this is my 8th career. And you look at my resume and you say, gee, the word former is in there quite a bit. He was the former this and the former that. Looks kind of like he couldn't hold a job. But my education prepared me for each of these jobs. And when each of these jobs came along, and it was always somebody else's idea, saying, Gordon, come with us. We want you to do this or to do that. And I must admit that being the president of the University of Saskatchewan wasn't on my job list. I hadn't anticipated being in this role, and when I was approached, my first reaction was, oh, I don't think I can do that. But there were a lot of people saying, yes, we think you can, we want you to do this. And I said, I will give it my very best effort. I believe in this province, and I believe in this university. And I'm sure that you will have those opportunities as well. So rather than saying, no, I can't do that, listen to your friends and your peers and your supervisors, and then have the courage to take on new opportunities. And I'm sure that you will also have many different careers, perhaps, but even if you stay in one particular area, take advantage of all of the new opportunities that come along. So that wherever your education leads you, I hope that you'll look back at the University of Saskatchewan and say, what a powerful experience that was. And think of the friends that you've made. Some of my best friends even yet are people that I got to know at university. And it shaped my life, and I'm sure it has shaped yours. And I'm sure when you experience challenges, you thought, how can I get through this? This upcoming exam, for example, is going to be absolutely impossible, and yet you've achieved it. And it's made you stronger. And you've discovered new things about yourself that you didn't even know that you had within you. I also hope that you have discovered your passion. And looking across to the audience now, I see passion in your eyes. And when you come across the stage, I watch for that as well. And that sense of pride. We have seen many tears across the stage over the last few days, tears of happiness, feeling of accomplishment. People have discovered new things about themselves, and I'm sure you have as well. And passion is just so important in life, to really discover what you want to study. You have now studied it, and you will go out and practice it. When I started university, I never dreamed that I'd be a historian. I started out in a different direction altogether. And when I was at university, I discovered history, and I thought, what an interesting study. And now I have 4 degrees in that history, and it's my passion. I read it, I write it, I teach it. And so today, I hope the same will be true for you, that you can take a deep breath, soak all of this in, and reflect on your family, on your friends, and your experiences here at the University of Saskatchewan. So congratulations to you. This is a great accomplishment, but you know what? You're not done. You think, I've got this degree, I'm now finished. And whether you go on for more formal education, or whether you continue to study within the profession that you've chosen, I'm sure there will be challenges each and every day, especially within the medical field, the health sciences field. There are new things being developed all of the time. And for you to stay up to date, you are going to have to keep studying. But your education here has prepared you to be flexible, adaptable to change, to think critically, to work independently, and yet still work as a group. But the most important thing of all of that, I think, is that you realize that you will always be learning. Continuous education is so important. And you will learn that you have capacity that you didn't even think you had, and you will survive and you will thrive. And no matter what path you choose, that education has served you well to succeed. And no matter where it leads you, I hope that you will come back to the University of Saskatchewan and think of us often and think of us positively. Just to remember, you're always welcome at the University of Saskatchewan. But you're taking on another role today. Perhaps you hadn't thought of this, but you are ambassadors for the University of Saskatchewan. So whatever you do, we will be watching you, and your friends, your family, and the public will be watching you and saying, oh, they are graduates of the University of Saskatchewan. And so carry that with great pride, but with responsibility, realizing that you're representing this university. But the university also has a responsibility. We are working very hard to strengthen our reputation and to ensure that people realize that we are one of the best universities in North America. And so our accomplishments reflect on the value of your degree, and the value of your accomplishments reflect on us as a university. And so it's a good partnership, and I wish you well. The graduates from the colleges of kinesiology, medicine, pharmacy and nutrition, School of Physical Therapy, and the School of Public Health are all here today to celebrate, and you truly are a unique next generation of health science professionals. While each health science college and school at the University of Saskatchewan has its own history, the traditions of excellence in these areas, the coming together of these units in an interprofessional education model, has broadened and enhanced the foundation of each of your individual disciplines. You are truly better together, better at interprofessional education and practice, better at interdisciplinary life and health, science and research, discovery, and better at health promotion and stakeholder engagement. And what is special about this graduating class is that you're the first group to experience the new health sciences building designed to help you learn side by side with leaders in healthcare research and clinical practice. You are prepared to improve the health and well-being of communities in which you live. As the first graduating class, you have learned together in an interprofessional way, and you will break new ground in your work as healthcare practitioners. You have chosen careers that focus on the needs of others and that the stage is set for you to make a difference anywhere and everywhere you choose to practice. It's a noble calling, and I thank you for that. So you can have pride in this degree because you know it's backed by a history of well-educated people with great accomplishments. And finally, I want to address my remarks to those people sitting behind you, your family and your friends who are here today to celebrate with you. And we all say to you, thank you very much for your support, for your love, and for paying the tuition fees. Would the graduates please rise, and would you turn towards your family and friends? And let's show our appreciation to our family and our friends for their support and their love. The graduates can now face the front again, please, and please be seated. Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a day to remember. Thank you.
Eminent Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the University Senate and Board, I present to you the petition of the Council of this university that the candidates to be named have fulfilled all the requirements of the bylaws, may, with your permission, be admitted to the degrees and certificates to which they are entitled.
Madam Secretary, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the legislature of this province, and with the consent of the Council of this university, I consent to admit you to the degrees and certificates to which you are entitled, and invest you with all the powers, rights, and privileges pertaining thereto.
Would the graduands in the front row please rise and come to the platform? Graduands, as you make your way forward, I'll just let you know how the conferring of degrees will unfold. As you enter the stage, please stop and face the audience as the hood will be put over your shoulders. Once you've been hooded, proceed to the first podium where the orator will present each of you by name. Once your name has been announced, proceed to shake the Chancellor's hand, and the Chancellor then tells you that you have been admitted to the Convocation of the University of Saskatchewan. You will then continue across the platform to be greeted by the President and your Dean or Associate Dean of the College, and to receive your parchment from them. As you go down the steps, you will be welcomed as new members of the University of Saskatchewan Alumni Association by a representative of the association.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Kinesiology, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer them the degree of Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. I present to you Noor Abu Hamra. Heidi Carleen Armstrong, with great distinction. Kimberly Ann Baduk, with distinction. Matthew Oliver Banyak, with honors and great distinction. Erin Nicole Barber-Tuck, with honors and great distinction. Jacqueline Briche Bell. Michael N.C. Bell. Gregory Miles Bennett. Jocelyn Aaron Bluen, with honors and great distinction. Jocelyn Ann Boyle. Puneet Brar, with distinction. Eric Gordon Brenna, with great distinction. Samantha Jen Carroll, with great distinction. Matthew Caleb Chevrier, with distinction. Adrian L. Cochet. Caitlin Raylene Cowles. Scott Ryan Sear, with distinction. Christopher William Derrick, with great distinction. Kalian Mackenzie Duke. Molly Erin Gartner, with great distinction. Mary Lynn Patnode Godette. Chantel Hope Germscheid. Victoria Elizabeth Glass. Jenna Roxanne Celine Grona, with distinction. Rochelle Golka. Jeff Ham. Kelsey Lynn Harder, with distinction. Jonathan Patrick Harding, with distinction. Jennifer Hedden, with distinction. Ashley Sarah Hangen. Daniel Jeffrey Herrick. Lindsay Michelle Hebert, with great distinction. Caitlin Elizabeth Hillis, with great distinction. Jenna Rael Hope, with distinction. Brina Carlene Yandel, with great distinction. Kaylin Ashley Jensen, with distinction. Jennifer Teresa Yoakum, with great distinction. Ashton Jacob Carley. Stephanie Megan King. Christine Nicole Klatt. Megan Coral. Lena Michelle Craik, with distinction. Andrew Scott Kutnikoff. Kimberly Brianne Lafreniere, with great distinction. Tyler Edward Lang, with distinction. Peter Alexander Lemessurier. Megan Alexandra Lennox, with distinction. Naomi Lett, with honors and great distinction. Nathan Lingo. Jenna Lynn Locke. Jillian Leanne Mitchell. Matthew Richard Okranik, with honors and great distinction. Alyssa Kendall Posnikoff, with great distinction. Hasib Reza Rizvi, with honors and great distinction. Riley Aaron Sother, with great distinction. Lauren Michelle Sawatsky. Eric Matthew Sham. Christopher Edward Schneider, with distinction. Ashley Leanne Schramm, with great distinction. Megan Jean Sane, with great distinction. Stephen Christopher Simon. Kayla May Sherdahl, with great distinction. Adam Gregory Soli. Melanie Marie Stevenson, with distinction. Kaylin Brianne Stewart, with great distinction. Kirsten Alexandra Stout, with great distinction. Sarah Catherine Streisel. Safal Suryawanshi, with distinction. Janelle Leanne Unger, with honors and great distinction. Chao Wong. Allison Krista Wiley. Morgan May Wolf, with distinction. Jenna Leanne Wood, with great distinction. Sasha Maria Yauzwa, with distinction. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Graduate Studies and Research, I present to you these scholars from the College of Kinesiology and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Master of Science. I present to you Miranda Ashley Carey. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the degree of Master of Science. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Medicine, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Doctor of Medicine. I present to you Syed Uzar Ahmed. Harmony Nosemi Ito. Drutej Ambati. Melissa Nicole Anderson. James Robert Ardell. Diana Marie Yvonne Austin. Nicholas Morius Baniak. Evan Stanley Ernest Barber. Taylor David Beretti. Timothy Michael Bolton. Maria Gabriela Campos. Sarah Olivia Chamicki. Alicia Chow. Catherine Martha Clapson. Megan Catherine Clark. Thomas Patrick Covello. Jonathan Robert Edwin Dean. Colin Thomas Ellis. Allison Marie Finningley. Kathleen Marion Fraser. Joshua Michael Frost. Arwa Hassan Abdullah Gargoum. Amber Ray Gruno. Daniel David Haffey. Lisa Ann Harrison. Amila Hendenya. Amina Sarah Henney. Laura Elizabeth Huber. Kaylin Magdalena Humber. Walid Sarwar Janjua. Brenton David Jansen. Eve Marie Joyce Johnson. Matt Ryan Warrington Johnson. Bradley Robert Joss. Neil Amar Kalra. Brianne Lynn Cozen. Matthew Scott Kushnerek. Christian Cole Levitt. Stephen Tian Lee. Benjamin Timothy Lease. Vicki Lynn Leeson. Stacy Deanna Locke. Kyle Alexander Looning. Michelle Lorene Lund. Jessica Lydiat. Caitlin Marie Merrick. Jordan Scott Merritt. Mones Masri. Kariston Kaylin McDougall. Alexander Roy Meldrum. Sarah Maury Miller. Genevra Rosetta Mills. Syed Mohammed Mohagegpour. Danielle Renee No. Kate Marie Morrison Neufeld. Matthew Christopher Nicholson. Jared Garth Oberkirsch. Rochelle Jacqueline Olson. Christine Janelle Peterson. Safrina Punja. Baruz Rahimi. Miriam Rassam. Devin Lee Ritter. Archie Naveed Robertson. Desiree Chantel Rouleau. Reed Bernard Sadaway. Samra Gurma Salu. Celine Saleh. Rochelle Page Savard. Sarah Jeanette Schmid. Lori Lynn Schramm. Jenna Lynn Barber Sanger. Amin Abu Sheikh. Natalie Jolin Skilleter. Jonathan Wade Morris Starr. Ryan Jackson Stubbins. Robin Lynn Tanaski. Amanda Marie Waldner. Sanchea Marie Olana Wazalu. Gage Roy Watson. Brittany Vachelle Webster. William Robert Magnus Weiler. Lawrence Hua Wang. Kinsha Alaya Rachel Yip. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the degree of Doctor of Medicine. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Graduate Studies and Research, I present to you these scholars from the College of Medicine and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Master of Science. I present to you Minu. Paula Gioino. Raghuveer Kumar Goel. Min Pan. Kazi Mamuner Rahman. Shani B. Surau. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the degree of Master of Science.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Pharmacy and Nutrition, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Bachelor of Science in Nutrition. I present to you Anna Stephanie Angelinas with great distinction. Dana Rose Berry. Kelsey Morgan Cochran, with distinction. Lisa Marie Fafard. Nicole Sammy Lee Foth. Jacqueline Tate Allen Hamilton. Brittany Ray Harper. Avery Page Harrison. Jenna Dawn Harrison. Nicole Ann Jansen, with distinction. Olivia Elizabeth Jabink. Caitlin Joanne Johnson. Caitlin Erica Kwasny. Morgan Jade McKellar, with distinction. Alana Leanne Remen, with distinction. Kelsey Michelle Ring, with great distinction. Cheyenne Amber Roth. Callie Krista Selka. Jana Elizabeth Spindler. Jacqueline Elizabeth Stickle, with great distinction. Michelle Christine Turcott, with distinction. Janelle Christina Watt. Jade Brianne Wendell, with distinction. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the degree Bachelor of Science in Nutrition. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Pharmacy and Nutrition, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. I present to you Anan Ahmed, Kristen Bailey Antunes, Alexia Athanasopoulos, Casey Jacqueline Ballon, Thomas Christian William Moore Barr, Elise Kathleen Louise Bitts, Ashley Taylor Bond, Nicole Ann Bootsman, Rebecca Joanne Carlson, with great distinction. Chaitali Bapan Chauhan, with distinction. Jonathan Yuhong Chow, with great distinction. Curtis John Joseph Chupa. Amy Marie Cooper. Philip Alexander Curran, with distinction. Nicole Simone Derry. Rajpreet Kaur Dhaliwal. Arlene Kristen Dyes. Lindsay Marie Dirksen. Jenna Ray Foles, with distinction. Elizabeth Dion Fredette. Evan Albert Frock. Kimberly Lynn Gabriel. Amanda Marie Gartner, with distinction. Hamanpreet Gill, with distinction. Alyssa Justine Alina Giraud, with great distinction. Jared Mitchell Gospodnichuk, with great distinction. Jai Han, with distinction. James Earl Haynes. Chantel Marie Height. Nicolette Lee Hodgins. Alana Elizabeth Hosgen. Cherie Elizabeth Hrinchishin. Margaret Maria Johnson James. James Curry. Megan Christie King, with great distinction. Caitlin Brianne Cron. Melissa Ann Cousy, with distinction. Azad Kukia Bryson. Melissa Wahai Kung. Arian Jacqueline Lewis, with distinction. Jalissa Jean Little, with distinction. Amy Elizabeth Licks. Wesley John Llewellyn Williams. Juanita Hoiwan Liu. Lisa Jennifer Lukey. Lucy Hanyang Liu. Alyssa Amy McDougall. Chet James Mack. Christopher Kalen McLeod. Sadaf Mahmood, with distinction. Kathleen Lorraine Bjorg McMahon, with great distinction. John Myers. Stephanie Caitlin Miller, with distinction. J.C. Elizabeth Neal, with great distinction. Neelan Amanda Nyland. Jillian Robin Okranitz, with distinction. Shanna Lynn Carling Pang. Patrick Allen Nelson Parkinson. Andrew Noah Plishka, with distinction. Sarah Louise Price, with distinction. Sheena Kwan. Sarah Catherine Rathgiver, with distinction. Kelsey Renee Riviere. Kylie Regan Schlitz. Brittany Joy Schrader. Amanda Marie Shooter, with distinction. Daniel Ray Schmier, with great distinction. Brian Emerson Smith. Jenna Rochelle Sohn. Bishop Lane Sommerfeld. Melissa Dawn Sparks. Elaine Tan. Carly Amanda Tollefson. Alexandra Danielle Weitenheimer. Stephanie Marie Weisgerber. Jacqueline Carmen Wiggins, with great distinction. Jenna Lee Yerkovich. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Graduate Studies and Research, I present to you these scholars from the College of Pharmacy and Nutrition and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Master of Science. I present to you Kaylee Allen Bachtold. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the degree of Master of Science.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Graduate Studies and Research, I present to you these scholars from the School of Public Health and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Master of Public Health. I present to you Adishola Oluwashian Abati. Olagbenga Ulufemi Adebayo. Abosedi Abolana Adesina. Syed Hamza Ahmed Jaffrey. Ajak Mabior Ajan. Farazana Ali. Adasumenia Ampofo Ado. Peter Uchenna Anangbogu. Abdul Rahman Omeze Araga. Uluwankemi Uluwatasan Awalusi. Joseph Uluwataupi Ayana. Samir Bagjosh. Rishi Barwaj. Dora Conte. Caitlin Josephine Cottrell Lingfelter. Bernard Dampson. Kimberly Megan Davey. Manpreet Kaur Dio. Catherine Dunn. Kalechi Ngozi Aguzo. Simeon Oganero Emmanuel. Karen Hammond Collins. Sally St. Amand Herod. Priyanka Jade. Alana May Jansen. Kirandeep Kaur. Muhammad Adris Khan. Seraphine Kogo. Andrea Rose Cole. Jennifer Wing Yan Kong. Fazel Latif. Adik Boyenga Kazim Lawal. Stephen William Ma. Prudence Musenguzi. Baye Nadombe Orak. Eleonora Pandovaska Pelivanova. Venkata Sesha Rangava Shravan Rayanam. Dana Aaron Drope Ramsey. Tarun Sushdevi. Alawali Mohammed Salam. Namneet Kuar Sandhu. Shirley Sarfo. Natasha Sebastian. Ate Sham Mohammed Sheikh. Tewinder Singh Sidhu. Narendra Singh. Wanting Song. Kelly Christine Tokarchuk. Larissa Janelle Watson. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the degree of Master of Public Health. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Graduate Studies and Research, I present to you this scholar from the School of Public Health and ask that you will confer on him the degree of Master of Science. I present to you Mosem Sultani Far. Please join me in congratulating the recipient of the degree of the Master of Science. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to present our PhD graduates. The custom at the University of Saskatchewan is for our PhD graduates, once they have been admitted to their degree, to be met by their supervisor and escorted to join the platform party in a symbolic welcome to a global community of scholars. Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Graduate Studies and Research, I present to you these scholars and ask that you will confer on them the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. I present to you Hubert Tote Alamazelli. Joshua David Boozy. Indu Dar. Leah Joanne Ferguson. Corin Lee Fisher. Amanda Louise Froelich Chow. Chel Hee Lee. Andries Johan S. Miller. Carly Sarah Preby. Cynthia Lynn Swan. Brandis Danielle Winquist. Please join me in congratulating the recipients of the degree of Doctor of Philosophy.
Eminent Chancellor, in the name of the faculties, I ask you to grant the degrees and certificates in absentia to those students who have met the requirements to graduate but were not able to be present today.
Madam Secretary, at the request of the faculties, I authorize these degrees and certificates be granted.
Thank you.
Eminent Chancellor, graduates, family, and friends, it is my pleasure on behalf of the faculty of the College of Kinesiology to present to you Ms. Brina Yandel, this year's recipient of the Dr. Gordon Garvey Prize. This prize is awarded to the college's most outstanding graduate, specifically that student who demonstrates outstanding academic performance, a commitment to volunteer and community service, campus involvement, and leadership in the college and university community. As this year's recipient, Brina has demonstrated herself to be an outstanding scholar, leader, and role model who is the embodiment of the vision, mission, and core values of the College of Kinesiology. She was born and raised in Wilkie, Saskatchewan, where she was an avid and very accomplished all-round athlete and scholar. These attributes were not in any way thwarted when she moved to the big city and came to the College of Kinesiology, where she quickly established herself as a Greystone scholar, a model of active living, and a strong leader and mentor through her volunteerism and participation in college, university, and community activities. Brina, who also received her Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology with great distinction earlier today, was a member of our college's student council, a member of the university campus recreation executive, and a Husky student trainer with our women's ice hockey team. As an avid participant in college activities, she was also a very committed research assistant and a volunteer with our PAL Swimmers program, a program designed to help physically challenged persons enjoy water activities. In the greater Saskatoon community, she has been an important leader and mentor. She coached multiple high school junior and senior girls sports teams, was a Greystone tutor, and was a keen participant in the Radius Sports for Life program at the YMCA, working with young adults with acquired brain injuries. As is consistent with the activities she engages in, and in particular her commitment to others, her long-term goal has always been to work in a career where she could make a difference in people's lives. And we are very pleased today to note that she has already begun this journey with her acceptance into the master's degree program in physiotherapy here at the U of S. Her enthusiasm and passion for leading and promoting active and healthy lifestyles for people of varying levels of ability, both on campus and in the greater Saskatoon community, is a true inspiration, and we are very pleased to recognize her contributions and achievements here today. Please join me in congratulating Ms. Brina Yandel, the 2014 recipient of the Dr. Gordon Garvey Prize. Well done, buddy.
Thank you.
Your check's in the mail.
I have to pick it up after here, actually.
Yeah, you can put that. Eminent Chancellor, President Barnhart, graduates, family, and friends. It is also my pleasure today, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Kinesiology, to congratulate this year's recipient of the Dean's Medal, Ms. Erin Barbertuck. The Dean's Medal is awarded each year to the graduate who has attained the highest academic average in our college. Congratulations, Brianna. Erin was born and raised in Saskatoon and joined us in the College of Kinesiology when she was 25 and expecting her first child. As I'm sure you can appreciate, her desire for new challenges and greater learning encompassed much more than academic pursuits, and honing her interest and involvement in health sciences research at that time. Opportunities to develop her stress and time management skills while managing her outstanding academic performance continued throughout her degree program as their family grew to include 3 children. Erin describes herself according to what she values most. First and foremost, she describes herself as a daughter, a sister, a wife, and a mother. She is also very clearly an eager learner, inquisitive listener, and seeker of knowledge and understanding. During her undergraduate program, she received a Summer Research Award from the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and she has most recently received a scholarship from the Canadian Institute of Health Research so that she may continue her academic journey and pursue a Master of Science in Kinesiology here with us in the fall. Her honors thesis supervisor described her thesis as one of the best he has had the pleasure to read in his 14 years at this institution. Clearly, the descriptors and characteristics that she uses to describe herself have enabled her to excel in multiple pursuits, both at home and in the classroom. In preparing comments for today, we asked Erin for some reflections, and I thought I would close with these thoughts from her, as I think they both describe the real significance of her accomplishment, as well as provide a window for us all into the true person that she is. And so I quote, "While other students chatted about weekend events, study regimes, irritating parents, and part-time jobs, I was thinking diapers, laundry, supper, and lawn maintenance. Yet with much support from my husband and extended family, I was able to excel at my studies while balancing home life. The achievement I celebrate, I share with, and I believe I owe to those who have supported me both emotionally, financially, and practically, my husband, my family, friends, professor, and supervisors." Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating this year's recipient of the College of Kinesiology's Dean's Medal, Ms. Erin Barber Tucker.
Eminent Chancellor, President, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. The Lindsay Gold Medal is named in honor of Dr. W. Stuart Lindsay, the first professor of pathology and the first dean of the School of Medical Sciences. It is awarded annually at Spring Convocation to the most distinguished graduate of the College of Medicine. It is my pleasure to announce this year's recipient, Nicholas Morris Baniak. Nick was born in Saskatoon and graduated from Clavette High School in 2006. Before entering the College of Medicine, Nick received a Bachelor of Science degree with honors, majoring in physiology from the University of Saskatchewan. Nick began his undergraduate medical education in 2010 and has maintained an exemplary academic standing and as a result has been the recipient of many undergraduate university and medical education awards. While maintaining this outstanding academic career, Nick has also participated in many research projects which have resulted in publications and presentations. His most recent publication, which I had the pleasure of reading yesterday, is a case report, A Rare Cause of Heart Failure with Preserved Ejection Fraction, Primary Pericardial Mesothelioma. Always had a hard time with that one. Masquerading as pericardial constriction. In his spare time, of which I'm sure he has very little, he enjoys athletics, gardening, chores on the acreage, and reading history and horror novels. Nicholas is continuing his education and is entering a residency training program in general pathology at the University of Saskatchewan beginning in July. Please join me in congratulating the outstanding medical graduate in the class of 2014, Dr. Nicholas Baniak.
Eminent Chancellor, Mr. President, platform guests, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Jacqueline Elizabeth Stickle. The Rudder Medal, given in honor and memory of Professor Emeritus Ethel Rudder, is awarded to the most distinguished graduate in nutrition, recognizing both scholarship and leadership. The recipient of the Rudder Medal for 2014 is Jacqueline Stickle. Jacqueline was born in Grand Prairie, Alberta, but has lived in Saskatoon most of her life. Following high school, she traveled to Kansas to play softball and pursue a fine arts degree. By the end of her first year of post-secondary education, Jacqueline decided to return to Saskatoon and pursue a nutrition degree at the U of S. Jacqueline's decision to enter dietetics was influenced in part by her recognition of the influence nutrition has on sport performance and physical well-being, as well as a desire to work in healthcare and make a difference through health promotion. Jacqueline entered the College of Pharmacy and Nutrition in 2010 and has been an outstanding student in all years of her program. She has received numerous scholarships and awards. She receives her degree with great distinction. Jacqueline is currently living in Saskatoon with her husband, Austin. She still has a passion for fine arts and is enjoying being able to devote more time to arts since she has completed her nutrition degree. Jacqueline is excited to pursue new opportunities and to continue to learn and be inspired in the field of nutrition and dietetics as she starts her career. Jacqueline is grateful for all the support her professors, internship coordinator, classmates, family, and friends have provided over the past 4 years. I'm sure her husband and family are particularly proud of her academic accomplishments, as we, the faculty and staff of the college, are of her. And on behalf, and on the occasion of the centennial year of the College of Pharmacy and Nutrition, I want to express my congratulations to Jacqueline. Eminent Chancellor, Mr. President, platform guests, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you J.C. Elizabeth Neal. The recipient of the 2014 Robert Martin Prize, awarded annually to the most distinguished graduate in the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy program, is J.C. Neal. This award is provided by the Saskatchewan College of Pharmacists in honor of the late Robert Martin, a pioneer pharmacist in Western Canada and the first registrar of both the Northwest Territories Pharmaceutical Association and the Saskatchewan Pharmaceutical Association. JC also receives the Saskatchewan College of Pharmacists Gold Medal, which is awarded annually to the most distinguished pharmacy graduate. JC grew up in a farm in Unity, Saskatchewan, where she participated in many sports, including volleyball, badminton, and fastball. Throughout her years in the college, she enjoyed working on a research project with the faculty in the college regarding injection drug use in Saskatoon, which ultimately resulted in a paper being published. In her spare time, she enjoyed playing and coaching fastball, as well as playing the piano. JC has been the recipient of numerous scholarships and awards, both at the college and university level, recognizing her academic excellence. She was on the Dean's Honor Roll and is receiving the Bachelor of Science in Pharmacy degree with great distinction today. JC will be working as a staff pharmacist in the pharmacy department of the co-op in Unity. In order to continuously grow as a pharmacist, she plans to become certified in various areas, including asthma and diabetes. JC wants to offer the patients she serves a variety of services in order to optimize their health and quality of life. I'm sure her parents, Jack and Diane Neal, as well as her siblings, Garrett and Eric, are particularly proud of her academic accomplishments, as the faculty and staff in the college are certainly as well. And again, on the occasion of the centennial of the College of Pharmacy and Nutrition, I want to congratulate JC.
Eminent Chancellor, Mr. President, platform participants, graduates, and guests. My name is Peter Stroh, and I'm a proud U of S alumnus, earning my Bachelor of Arts degree in 1970, Bachelor of Education in 75, Masters of Education in 78 and 85. As President of the University of Saskatchewan Alumni Association, it is my distinct pleasure to congratulate you, the class of 2014, and welcome you as our association's newest members. You made it. Your years of hard work have paid off. I know you feel like your work is done and you can breathe a big sigh of relief. And indeed you should. Take a moment to soak it all in and celebrate this moment. Although it feels like today is an end to your time as a member of the U of S community, it is really a new beginning. You will always be a member of the U of S and of the Alumni Association. You are students on campus for a relatively short time, but you are alumni for a lifetime. Today you joined our alumni family. As of this week, there are over 142,000 of us living in 117 countries. You follow in the footsteps of accomplished U of S alumni like the Honorable John G. Diefenbaker, Canadian Prime Minister and father of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Henry Talby, recipient of the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Nan McKay, the first Métis and first Aboriginal woman to graduate from the U of S nearly 100 years ago. The late Honorable Sylvia Fedoric, pioneer of cobalt-60 radiation treatment for cancer. Kendall Netmaker, founder and CEO of Nietzsche Gear Clothing. Brett Wilson, entrepreneur and philanthropist. Guy Vanderhagen, winner of 2 Governor General Awards for his writing. I could go on and on naming our alumni who are leaders in education, business, public policy, and public service, health, crop and animal science, the arts, sports, and athletics, virtually every field and profession imaginable. But you will not only follow in the footsteps of these distinguished men and women, you will blaze a new path. Take a look around you and remember the faces you see here today. Who do you see? The faculty who have inspired and led you, classmates and colleagues. Remember these faces and names, those you have heard today and seen in the program. Yours are the names of accomplished alumni that will be read from a stage like this for future generations. You, the generation that is experiencing change at an unprecedented and ever-accelerating rate, will take all you have learned, your knowledge, your experiences, your relationships, to take on challenges which we cannot yet imagine, to help build vibrant communities. Because of your time at the U of S, you have all the tools, the knowledge, the skills, the abilities to think critically, solve problems, create solutions, and discover the unknown. I wish your elementary and high school teachers could all be here today to see you. As a high school teacher, I know how proud they would be of you. Take one more look around so that when you hear the accomplishments of your fellow alumni, you'll say, hey, I know her. She's one of us. She's a U of S alumna. And you will serve as an inspiration for each other to step into the spotlight and boldly share your own achievements as University of Saskatchewan alumni. Congratulations to each and every one of our graduates, and welcome to the University of Saskatchewan Alumni Association. Have a great afternoon.
Good morning. My name is Blaine Favel, and I'm the 14th Chancellor of the University of Saskatchewan, and it's my great honor and with great pride that I presided over this morning's convocation. I'd like to say good morning to the platform guests and the parents, the graduates, all of our very respected visitors and friends. It's a great honor to preside over the brilliance that passes the stage. And particularly, there's something about medicine and doctors that inspire, and people that work in healthcare that really inspire our best wishes, because your job is so important, and it's very difficult to make the correct diagnosis of what ails people. And I know it's very hard because I tried it one time, and I was back home, well, it must have been about 6 or 7 years ago, I was chasing horses or something outside, and I came inside, my mom wasn't feeling well, so I took her to the local town where I'm from, is Maidstone, where the local hospital is. And I was dressed in, just work clothes, and I'd come home for the weekend to help out. And Mom was sick, she's quite elderly, she's 87, and I took her to the doctor, and I went into the doctor, and the doctor was asking her conditions, and I was sitting back there wearing my cowboy hat and kind of leaning against the wall, and I just offered to the doctor, I said, I think she has diabetic neuropathy. And he kind of looks at me, right? Because here's this Indian cowboy suddenly saying these $10 words out of his mouth. And he said, do you have some medical training? And I says, no, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. I don't know if you remember that commercial, right? All these people get brilliance from staying at the Holiday Inn. So anyways, I did get it correct. So thank God for WebMD. Also this morning we heard an honor song that was sung for you. I'm a Plains Cree, it's my background, and the honor song is very sacred to my people because it's a song of love and respect, and it was sung by communities and by families, and it was the drum group would be asked to sing it in the course of an honoring of an individual, and they would read his accomplishments, much as yours have been read today. So it's a sacred song for my people, and I wanted to give you some context of it because it's important, and it's important that you know the value of that song and how sacred it is. In addition, on a serious note, I wear this beadwork. When I became Chancellor, they asked me, would you like to have some Aboriginal designs or Aboriginal symbolism associated with your chancellorship? And I chose this design here, which you'll appreciate is actually called a medicine wheel for my people. And it's a sacred symbol, and it reflects the Creator. There's lots of symbolism associated with these, but the Creator, the sacred directions, and health, physical health, mental health, spiritual health, and emotional health, and the need for balance. And so I wish all of that balance carries you forward in the practice of your profession, your chosen profession, as you go forward and take care of our relatives wherever you may travel. So I wish you the very best with that. I'd like to acknowledge a few people before we say farewell this morning, and please hold your applause to the very end of the folks that we're going to identify and thank. First, Darren Olerking and the University Wind Orchestra. They've performed admirably all week, and thank you, Darren, for the good work. Our sign interpreter, Ann Webster, thank you, Ann. Our vocalist this morning, Katya Hartova. Our drum group, All Tribe Singers. Frank Asapace, our traditional knowledge keeper and my very good friend. Dr. Joel Schindel provided our opening invocation this morning. Daniel Rudelet, who's a convocation coordinator and organizes all of these. There's a great deal of work that goes into making this as special as we can for the graduates and the families. So let's give them all a round of applause. As you see in the program, one of my functions is to bestow degrees, and I say these words, I admit you, and I have to say, after saying it, I think 2,000 times this week, your tongue starts to have a mind of its own. I think I told a few of you that I miss you. I think I told a few of you I met you. Yesterday somebody stopped and I said, you met me where? And I said, no, I said I'd met you. But truly we will miss you. Thank you for sharing your lives with us. Continue to share your lives with us as you travel. Travel safely. Wish all of you the best of health and great prosperity. Thank you very much. Please, before we go, please remain seated till the platform party leaves. The ushers asked me yesterday. Apparently a couple got run over. But thank you very much.
Thank you.